This week on the Autocar Show, we bring you an exclusive look at the Indian XC60 ready to hit the roads end of this month. Karthik takes a look at the Honda CBR 250R, and we bring you the comparison of the Honda City and the Volkswagen Vento. Hello and welcome to the Autocar Show. We're bringing you an exclusive look at the XC60 to be launched this month on the Indian roads. Well, not really excited. Most people feel that Volvos are safe and secure, but boring and boxy. Plus, you don't see too many on the Indian roads. But hang on, when I drove this car in Sweden, I felt it could be the game changer for Volvo in India. It's here. It's coming in with a diesel power plant. We're going to put it on the Indian roads and see if it can do everything it needs to make Indian people want to go out and buy it. The XC60 is smart from any angle and looks every bit the SUV. It has enough of a beefy front to give it strength and some nice flourishes like the chrome only on the bottom of the window line to accent the high hip line. The rear has the Volvo hip, but it's much more rounded and stylized with the long tail lamp as garnish. It still has Volvo's design genes, that snout, the typical grille, and this strong hip line, but it's much more curved, rounded, and actually quite appealing. This is a sexy 60. Let's take a look inside and see if the oomph factor continues. But I have to say, it is a departure from the IKEA-like simplistic Volvos we've been used to seeing always. This one has textures and colors and garnishes of rich-looking chrome and wood. The floating central console is a nice touch. The dials are a bit plain. The steering is nice and meaty and feels good to hold. There are loads of storage areas, and there are also AC vents for the rear passengers. There is a high-end CD player with 8 speakers which has iPod and USB connectivity. Then there's the panoramic sunroof. The tailgate is powered too and can also be operated via the key. There's a variety of flip-down options for the seats to become entirely flat for storage options. There's also a really nice child seat integrated into the rear seat. In addition to all of this on the inside, the XC60 has more. There's a host of features. So you can say the XC60 is very well loaded, but apart from these that come standard, there are some optional features as well. Well, if you look at that, basically that's the blind spot indicator. It warns you when there's a car that's coming up behind you and it's in a blind spot where you can't really see it. It's going to happen a lot in India, considering the close quarters which we drive in. Or even things like adaptive cruise control and lane departure warning. Hear that sound? Well, it's a system that you can set by the touch of a button, which is called lane departure warning. So if you're driving a long haul run and you want to make sure that you stay awake, here's something that will warn you that you're departing from the lane, and it kicks in when you're over a speed of about 60 kilometers an hour. But these are some features that you're likely to see next year as standard when the XC60 comes with a petrol V6 engine. For the moment, the XC60 we are driving is powered by a 2.4-litre diesel engine that churns out 205 bhp, which is what you will see first in India. This engine is a bit noisy, but it's not a growl that really bothers you. And the good part about this engine is the way that the torque is spread. You can enjoy it driving around in the city or a good healthy run out on the highway. Gearbox is nice as well. You don't really find a lag in the gearbox. It's never hunting for gears, as long as you don't want to push it too hard. The engine does have a hint of lag, but the gearbox manages to mask it pretty well. And once you pass the 2000 RPM mark, you really feel the power. The mid-range is strong, making it a very drivable engine. Now if you do want that spirited drive, there's always the sports mode. The suspension stiffens up a bit and the XC60 gets more aggressive, be it gear shift or handling. The XC60 has good body control, and when you want to do some enthusiastic driving, you always have the sport mode that stiffens up the suspension and lets you enjoy throwing it around the corners a bit more. Straight line stability speed is also really good. This car really feels solid. Apart from the sports mode, the XC60 also has a comfort mode for that leisurely cruise, or especially when you're sitting in the backseat. It's a really spacious backseat. There's good shoulder room, there's good leg room, so a nice place to be on a long journey. It's comfortable, and what I really liked was the ride quality. We went over some pretty rough bits, and this handled it really well. The backseat of the XC60 is a comfortable place to be, no doubt. Long journeys in this will be comfortable ones. The fact is that this car feels solidly built and gives you a sense of security. And then there's the comfort in knowing a host of safety systems are working to ensure that you're well protected in an emergency. It's also a very well insulated car, keeping the noise and the rest of the world outside your window. This adds to the comfort in the backseat, and the XC60 is every bit the luxury SUV it's meant to be. Well, it's got all the Volvo genetics. It's still safe, it's secure, it's solidly built, but there's really nothing boring and boxy about this vehicle. It drives nicely, it's spacious, it's comfortable, it's got really nice quality interiors. This is a car I would want to go out and buy, and at an under 40 lakh rupee price tag, I think this could really be the game changer for Volvo in India. Stay tuned. Right after this break, Karthik brings you the Honda CBR 250 from Thailand.